everybody. Today we're going to welcome Mr. Amer Soharwardi from ARY News Network. And Mr. Soharwardi is the controller of news in Pakistan. And we welcome you to the Boise.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's an honor being here.
What brought you to USA today?
I was here to cover the United Nations General Assembly 72nd session, and it was a great happening. Leaders from all over the world joined this session, and they have their say, and it gives us a broader spectrum that what will be the future shape of the world and what the leaders are actually thinking about solving the problems, the great problems which this world is facing now.
So, what brought you to Boise before we go further into political issues, global issues?
Boise is always a beautiful place. I love this place. This is the city of trees. It has beautiful scenes. It has great mountains. And the Bogus Basin is a beautiful place here. And the best food, all around the Boise is at Taj Mahal. So all these beautiful things brought me here to Boise.
The Taj Mahal food brought you all the way from New York to Boise, Mr. Soharwardi?
Yes, like Taj Mahal brought all the world to Agra in India. It's the place to love. And the food is at Taj Mahal is really delicious. It's lovely to be here.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And welcome to Boise.
Thank you.
And we are very proud. We think Boise is one of the most blessed city in the United States. All right. So how long you're going to be in here?
Well, I'll be leaving tomorrow, going back to New York, and I have few meetings in New York. Then I'll be heading to Buffalo, have a session there, and then we'll be going back to Karachi on 26th.
Okay, you have a safe trip back home. So what is your opinion overall for this session, since this is your second or third session in here?
Frankly speaking, the problems which our world is facing has not been taken very good care of by the leaders of the world. In United Nations, it seems that every nation comes and, rather than giving an approach to solve the basic issue of this world, they put their case on the table like it's a part of their foreign policy. Actually, what I feel that United Nations is a forum of solving global issues with a global approach, rather than having all the nations coming and showing their grievances, showing their approach and showing their foreign policies and narrowing their approach about the world affairs. I think we need to be we need to have a more solution-based approach to the problems of the world, like terrorism, like extremism, like so many other issues. The water problem is rising in the world. The health issues are on the rise in the world. The education, literacy, and the right to live, and so many crisis areas. And we don't have a comprehensive strategy about solving those issues. Rather than we are just talking and talking and talking about those issues without having a grand solution.
So you think it's very important for us as a United Nation to start solving the problems which you think need immediate or urgent attention. So which are those problems, you think?
Like, it's the rise of extremism all around the world. It's the rise of extremism here in the United States, homegrown terror in Europe, and the Rohingya problems, the killing all over the world, the Middle East question, the mafias growing in the world. So there are so many grand issues. And for those so many grand issues, the most prestigious NGO in the world needs to come in front and starts talking about a very grand solution of the issues, rather than what I feel that the grand organization just wait for the issues to emerge and to be in a position that it becomes incurable. So I think we need to act fast because all these issues have no borders. They are just transcending to other areas.
So, who is benefited with all these very serious issues? You think?
There are so many terror organizations all around the world. They are doing terrorism all around the world, so they get benefits from it. They have their petty issues. They earn money from it. Like if you see just the case of Somali pirates, the Somali pirates, they hijack the ships, and they get money. They have their people sitting all around the world. They have their deals going on in Middle East, and they have their deals going on in all around the world, and they receive money. So it's at the day, and it's the financial gain which is at least happening to someone. Like the wealth in the Middle East, someone must have benefited from it. And the Rohingya question, someone is getting benefits from it. So this is another paradigm that United Nations must start identifying the people or the organizations or the countries who are responsible for all these things.
So, you think they? Let's see the pirates in Somalia. So, can you pinpoint any big organization or any country, any land which is benefited with that?
It's the organization, the terror organization, Al Shabaab, which is Shabab, which is behind all these issues. And they have their, it's not the question of any religion involving in terrorism. It's the people who have their names linked to a religion. They have to do nothing with the religion. Terrorism is not connected to any religion in the world. Terrorism, no religion in this world preaches terrorism. So I think that it's not the ideology, it's the people who are getting benefits from it.
So, you think that all these so-called religious terrorism is not really a religious terrorism? It's just it's something monetary or financial benefits, or global mafias are benefited with it.
Yes, of course. How can you just cut the heads of the people? How can you just slaughter people in the name of religion? How can you kill them? And how can you make movies of killing people? And you just, make go them on air to create terror. What ISIS is doing in Middle East and in Syria and Iraq, it's visible to everyone. It's not the religion. No religion talks about cutting heads of the people who don't believe in your idea or ideology. So I firmly believe that the people who are doing terrorism all around the world have to do nothing with any religion in the world.
So, you do think this terrorism is going to rise in future, or with this conference you are hoping or expecting that they're going to go down a little bit, or we might have a little more control on it?
I think we need to think very seriously on this issue. It's not the matter of a nation going down and what is happening in Syria and Iraq and what is happening in so many countries of Europe, like in Brussels, like in France, like in London, and right after 9/11 and in the US. We need to be very serious. We need to have very concrete steps taken in the right direction. We need to ask the think tank, we need to ask the intelligentsia of the world to sit together and to devise an idea and a strategy through which we can stop this spread of terrorism all around the world. It is not on the rise, but it is in fashion in some areas of the world. Like if you don't like something, you can go against it and you can go at the height of opposition, which is terrorism. And so many people in the world are not very satisfied with what was going around in the world, and they as a result, majority of the youth as a result become a victim of these extremist organization, which is using all the modern technologies in the world, internet, They are using WhatsApp, they are using Facebook, they are using Instagram, and every other social media tool. They have their hiring strategies. So when what if we can only be successful if we think ahead what our enemies are thinking, what the people who are involved in terrorism may be thinking. So we need to think ahead of them, and we need to start developing a global anti terror strategy through which we need to establish institutions all around the world, and we need to invite experts, we need to invite journalists, we need to invite intelligentsia from all over the world, and to devise a comprehensive strategy. And that's the only way of doing it. We also need to invite religious heads from all the religions. We need to invite the religious clergy to have their say to say and to participate in this grand strategy. Otherwise, if we fight alone, we I think I'm afraid that we'll become weaker and weaker.
So, what do you think? Who can be, who can play that character? Who can be the big brother, or who can bring the nations together to come up with some plan?
It's the forum like United Nations, and the biggest donors of United Nations are US, UK, Europe. They need to come forward. They need to invite people. They need to and they need to sit together, and they need to have a word, and rather than having a blame game, like you do it and I do it and they do it. Let's have a strategy. Let's sit together. Let's have a word. Let's talk to students. Let's talk to teachers. The majority of the teachers, like I belong to Pakistan. There are so now the militancy is on the rise, and there are so many teachers in university who have been arrested by the law enforcement agencies. They are brainwashing children. So we need to have a clean up strategy to get out all these minds from educational institutions, from religious institutions, from political institutions, from economic institutions, and need to institutionalize anti terrorism and to be at the preface of every institution.
You think you need global efforts in that to
Exactly.
institutionalize?
Exactly.
Okay. Then let's come to your country, Pakistan. What do you think now? If you compare it, say 1990s and today, is terrorism in the region is on rise or is declining?
It's on the rise because in I don't take it to 1990s. I take it to 1970s, where there was a jihad in Afghanistan,
Yes.
and that was a sponsored jihad, and so many people were brought in from other countries to Pakistan, and the main player. Pakistan was the ground, and the United States was the main player of that jihad. And there were so many people, and when in late 70s or early 80s, when this jihad ended, all these mujahideen were left alone in Pakistan. So they have to, US needs to adopt. At that time, that was a mistake, not taking care of all those people and getting them out of Pakistan. They were trained armed personals. They were, and from mujahid to terrorist, that was a way which they took from early 80s till early 2000. And as a result, it was 9/11. It was the birth of Taliban. It was the birth of Al-Qaeda. It was the birth of Al-Shabaab. It was the birth of Boko Haram. It was the birth of ISIS. And now, if we don't take care of it seriously, it will spread. It will spread. And now the big powers, United States of America, Europe, and all the other Muslim big countries, Saudi Arabia needs to come forward, Iran needs to come forward, and they need to sit together and they need to have a dialogue. War is not the solution to any problem in this world. We need to have a dialogue. And for having a dialogue, we need to have a single strategy.
So, what could you explain a little bit more of jihad, and also tell us what that jihad or holy war was against? Who?
It was against the Russian occupation of Afghanistan in early 70s. And if we talk about the concept of jihad, it's an Islamic name. And let me explain you. Jihad has a meaning of having a struggle, an inside struggle. And if we go through with the Islamic principle, the holiest jihad is to refine yourself, is to refine an inner self, is to have a good human inside you, is to, have the best deeds in the world. That's the biggest jihad. That's the most important jihad in Islam. And if you talk about the war, it's only when someone attack you. It's not just going and conquering lands and killing people. Like even in early days of Islam, when they have wars, the clear orders not to kill children, not to kill women, not to kill elderly people, not to destroy trees, not to burn the farms, and even not to kill animals. It was just the soldier to soldier war. And now you can see what is happening in the name of jihad. So it's a serious thing.
So, what do you think? Is it a particular sect or a section of people in Pakistan or in Afghanistan, Iran or Middle East who
Yes,
believe on this kind of jihad?
yes, ideologically there are few people. They follow a certain path, and if they follow a certain path, that's not a problem. But they want to impose all those certain values which they believe. They are very staunch. They kill innocent humans in the name of their ideology, and that's incorrect. That's not Islam.
So, what Islam you initially earlier you talk about? What is that called? Like to find yourself, be a good human being. What sect of Islam is that?
It's not a sect. It's Sufism. It's discovering yourself. It's having an insight about you. It's respecting human. It's giving everybody giving their rights. It's living together. It is not making anyone to obey you forcibly. It's just you know respecting every human being as an individual. And it's not the conversion to Islam. It's giving yourself, exposing all what you have good in yourself, and let the other person decide. If it is good, it's fine, and if it's not good, oh, it's all right.
So, what is the percentage of follower of Sufism in Pakistan?
Majority of the people of Pakistan follow Sufism, and that's very evident. If you go to Pakistan, you find shrines everywhere, big shrines, like Sayyid Ali Hajweri, Data Ganj Bakhsh, like
Lal Shah
Lal
Baskar.
Shahbaz Kalandar in Seven Sindh, like Abdullah Shah Ghazi in Karachi, and like Allama Riazuddin Soharwardi in Karachi. They are shrines, and people go there and ask for what they believe, and and they request all those Sufis to take their prayers to the Almighty Allah. And majority of the people are there, but there are few. As Sufis don't believe in extremism, they don't believe in killing people, they don't believe in bombing shrines and bombing mosques. So there's another sect which believes in that, and because Sufis are innocent, they don't hold weapons. And those extremists, they have weapons, they have guns, they have bombs, they target Sufi mosques and they target Sufi shrines. So even in having a majority of Sufi principles followers in Pakistan. They're a bit, the situation is not very good.
So
Not
they're terrorized, in other words.
Yes, they are terrorized.
So you think, beside Pakistan, what other countries have Sufism influence in there?
In India, in Iran, and in Syria, in Iraq. All these countries have very strong Sufi values.
And how about Turkey?
Yes, of course. Like one of the greatest Sufis, Maulana Rome, is in Konya. It's a city of roses in Turkey.
But do you think where this terrorizing came from when you had almost every big country had the Sufism believers? Where this terrorism came from? Is it again related to that jihad, the war against Russia?
No, 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 no. The staunch Islam came by the revolution in Saudi Arabia. It dates back early 18th and 19th century, and you must have read the book Lawrence of Arabia, and
Yes.
through which the Hashmi kingdom was ended, and the House of Saud, and after that House of Suderis have taken over the Saudis, and this is not bad. Their values were not so bad, but historically, if you traces the value, the thing which the Saudi kingdom have done in their earliest days are the same which ISIS is doing right now, destroying the tombs, killing the people, and making all the innocent people fleeing their grounds. That's what Saudi, the earliest days of King Saud, they have done. And now it's been done by ISIS.
So the Sufism is now, do you think, since it is terrorized in Pakistan, so do you think they are kind of moving towards other countries, like where there's no terrorism, or how they're spreading their message, how they are telling people around the world that, okay, this is the Islam, this is Sufism, and this terrorism is not a part of Islam.
The greatest value of Sufism is not to flee, is not to run away. They are standing in their ground. They will stand and they will be successful. It's not the matter that one country is safe and other country is not safe. If I ask this question to you, which country is the safest in the world and which haven't had any terror incident? I think there are very few countries in the world, and those countries which are not really very important to the region. Now, Sufis will not go anywhere. Sufism is deeply rooted in the heart and soul. And terrorism is not rooted anywhere. It is the negation of basic values of being a human. So terrorism will fail. Sufism will prevail. And this is the destiny. They will not go anywhere. Like if somebody says me to run away because there is terrorism in Pakistan, I say, I won't. I will not. Because I'm doing my job. My family lives there, and I'm not afraid. Even I was threatened many times by these terror organizations about airing news and not airing their news, and pressurized by pressure groups. And you know that Pakistan is one of the most dangerous countries for journalists to work. I think running away from the scene will not help anyway. Will help the cause of terrorists, will not help the cause of Sufism. So Sufi, as a follower of Sufism in Pakistan, as a journalist in Pakistan, I'll not run away. I'll fight. I'll stay. I will keep my Sufi values intact. I'll pass into my next generation, and I have my strongest belief that one day Sufism will again prevail. They'll be successful.
So you think like the terrorism was funded, like you said, in 70s. So if we start funding the Sufism globally, not even in Pakistan, it'll be helpful to get out of all these terrorism.
Definitely. Definitely. That's the need of the time, to have the moderate values coming back to the world. Like, if terrorists are killing and you are having a war against terrorism, you are also killing humans. So that will not help the cause. So a greater understanding of human values is required, a greater understanding of um, um, uh, tolerance is required, and that is only can be done through having Sufi interaction, that is having interaction of moderate forces, and having interaction with all the people of the world. Let's talk about the people of the world. So people of the world believe in humanity, apart from few who don't believe in humanity. So let's other all other people be united. You call it Sufism, you call it tolerance, you call it impartialism, whatever you call it. But we need to get together. We need to get them on board.
So are you, as a journalist, are you working? Let me say, right, start from yourself. Are you working right within Pakistan or globally to get them kind of get all the Sufis on one platform?
Yes, I'm doing it on my own as a journalist in Pakistan, but I have limited resources. I cannot invite people from United States because there are so many restrictions in Pakistan. It's very difficult to get a visa to invite someone to from United States to Pakistan, and but it's easier to get a US visa to get here and to talk to people. I'm planning to coming back in maybe couple of months, and I'm planning to have interaction with moderate with people who believes on the basic values of Sufism, and who wants this world to be a safer world, a world with peace, a world where our children can live peacefully and survive.
Well, that's I think it'll be a little longer. You and you need a lot of patience to work on that project.
And let me add to it. I also want you people like you and the Zamana Broadcasting Corporation and all the broadcasters in Boise, in New York, in Washington, all over United States, to help this cause. It's not helping an individual. It's not helping a single person. It's saving the humanity. So we need to save the humanity. We need to work for a safer future for our children. We need to work for a safer future for ourselves. And if we fail, there will be no hope left. So I think in the corridor of ignorance, we are sliding down where there is no light. And when there is no light, there is no vision. And when there is no vision, the people perish. So we need to rescue people.
Oh, I wish you best of luck for all that. So, are you planning to go back to New York now? You have still some other conferences to attend, or
Yes, I'll be going back to New York tomorrow, and I will be meeting few people,
okay?
and then I'll have a meeting in Buffalo regarding all this
Yeah,
what I've said in
you
this
mentioned
interview,
that. Yeah.
and then I'll be heading back to Karachi on 26th.
So, during all this period, did you had any chance to meet some folks and talk about this Sufism?
I meet few people, but they are not actually on board right now. I'm waiting for some organization to have a good connection. And in Boise, I was told that there are few people working, and there is a Rumi forum here, and I also need to talk to them. But maybe next time, and if I can give my contacts and everything, the email, and anybody who's listening to interview can contact me, and we can have an interaction. And whenever, if you like, I can come over here and have this discussion. And if it's a lecture to any university, any college, any school, I'll be more I'm honored to come and talk to people, young people especially. It's the world of the young people. So that's my focus.
We wish you best of luck, and we will work with you from Zamana Broadcasting Corporation. We'll do the best what we can, and we'll stay in touch, and we'll spread your word. Right now, only worry we have, or rather, global serious problem is the killing of human being, in which we all feel it. And before we get into that, I don't know whether there's another extreme of it, but I am sure that we will start working on it right from this moment, this day, and we will spread the word. We highly appreciate your visit, Boise, and thank you very much. You have a safe trip back home.
Thank you very much. I'm honored to be here. Thank you, Zamana Broadcasting Corporation.
Thank you.